Hello, I'm Stan Johnson with the Prophecy Club. I'm going to explain to you the 5 books that I recommend that you get so you can be prepared for these last days. The first one is Tribulation, Secrets, and Daniel. Probably the most difficult book to understand in the Bible. Most people would agree it's Daniel. This book gives the last generation a simple explanation of the parts of Daniel which relate to the tribulation. It makes understanding Daniel easy. It exposes the plans of the Antichrist, how to spot the Antichrist early, what to do, what he looks like, sound of his voice, how he rises to power, all of this in Tribulation, Secrets, and Daniel. Now, we offer 1 for $20, but don't do that. We offer them in shrink-wrap sets of 10. 10 for $30, 20 for $50. This is one of the charts that's on the back of the book. This is the feasts linked to the prophecies of Revelation. And this is the seals, trumpets, and vials of Revelation all laid out so you can understand it. The next book is PreTrib versus PostTrib. It's called How the PreTrib One. It answers the question about the rapture. What is the truth about the rapture? And the reason it can answer this when no one else can is because it shows you the secret door. By understanding the secret door, you can finally understand how the end time all plays out and all of the rapture, how it all happens. 1 for 20, 10 for 30, 20 for 50. It's called How PreTrib One. Back in 1987, I was privileged to meet this man, Dimitri Duduman, probably the greatest prophet to ever walk the land of America. He was a pastor who smuggled Bibles into Romania and Russia. They arrested him, tortured him for 5 months, trying to get him to tell how he got the Bibles through. As he was on the electric chair, twice, the electricity is going through his body, the whole room lit up with white light. The angel Gabriel showed up and said, "You're not going to die. You're going to America to give them a warning from God." That was 1980. He arrived in America in 1984. The angel came to him again. Took and showed him California, Las Vegas, New York, and Florida. He said, "Do you see what I've shown you? This is Sodom and Gomorrah. In one day, it will burn." He said, "How? America is so powerful." He said, "The fall of America will start with an internal revolution in America, started by the communists. Some of the people will start fighting against the government. The government will be busy with internal problems. Then from the oceans, Russia, Cuba, Nicaragua, Central America, Mexico, and 2 other countries will attack and defeat America, and one day, in 1 hour, America will burn. Then God will raise up China, Japan, and many of the nations. They'll go against the Russians. They'll defeat the Russians. They'll back the Russians to the gates of Paris where they sign a peace treaty, but they make the Russians their leader. Then all the world, with the Russians as their leader, goes down to attack Israel. It's Armageddon. Israel cries for Messiah. Jesus returns in the clouds and defeats the armies of the earth. He said, now, if you want to understand this, it's all put into this book called God's Warnings to America. All of Dimitri Duduman's testimony, dreams, visions, angel visits, all of it, as well as his grandson, Michael Boldea, Prophet Leslie Johnson, Henry Gruver, Shane Warren, Terry Bennett, Maurice Sklar, Augusto Perez, Doug Metzger, Bree Keaton, and a lot more. 101 dreams and visions, all talking about the last days, specifically the future of America. 1 for 20, but don't do that. We offer them in shrink-wrap sets of 5. 5 for 35, 10 for 60 at prophecyclub.com. The next book I recommend is The Secret Door to Understand Bible Prophecy. What happened was in 2017, I memorized the book of Revelation. I didn't think anything special was going to happen, but I began to get revelations. I got 30 revelations, 2 visions, and an audible voice. God showed me that the word first fruits is actually a secret door that links the feasts of Leviticus 23 to the prophecies of specifically of Revelation 14:4. And by linking that word, all of a sudden, all of the prophecies of Revelation fall into correct chronological order. For the first time, we can understand Revelation. All of this is laid out, and also the back of the book is 2 big charts. The first chart you're looking at is how the feasts link to the prophecies of Revelation. The next chart is how the seals, trumpets, and vials all play out so you can understand the last days. One prophetic word said, "There's a lock I put over a word in the book of Revelation that I'm going to open unto you. It will turn many books written on the end time message into obsolete books." That's this book. We offer them 1 for 20, but don't do that. We offer them shrink-wrap sets of 5, 5 for 35, 10 for 60 at prophecyclub.com. Now, let me ask you 2 questions. What would you do if you had to tell someone the most important information on the globe, but you knew they wouldn't believe you? Well, hopefully you'd tell them. So that brings us to the second question. What is the most important information? All people, nations, languages, tongues, every beating heart on the planet. What is the most important information? Well, the most important thing to do is to receive Jesus. But the most important thing not to do is don't take the mark of the beast. Because those people who take the mark of the beast, they do not get soul death, but eternal torment in the lake of fire. See, after Jesus' return and all time has been concluded, all of the rewards been handed out, all the crowns, mantles, all that sort of stuff, there's only 3 groups of people. First group is those people whose name is in the book of life that get eternal life. The second group is those people whose name is not in the book of life, and they're tossed into the lake of fire and brimstone, which is body and soul death. But the problem is, the third group of those people that take the mark of the beast, they do not get soul death. They're tossed into the lake of fire and brimstone. They burn for eternity, day and night, with no hope of escape, no exit. So what do? How do you tell them? Well, you get my book. So you got to understand there's actually 5 things that we don't want to do. First 2 things involve bending the knee. You don't want to worship the beast. You don't want to worship his image. Third thing is you don't want to take the mark or his name or the number of his name. We have in the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses. This one is 3 witnesses. This is what the mark of the beast looks like. Look at it. Do not take it. This is the coming mark of the beast. This is what the number of his name is going to look at. 2 different witnesses tell us that's the number of his name. So this is the book I recommend you get. It's called Miss the Mark. You get this book into their hands. If they'll read this book, it's a simple, quick, easy read. They will never take the mark of the beast. It explains the tribulation, the Antichrist, all that sort of stuff. 1 for $20, but don't do that. This is offered in shrink wrap sets of 10. 10 for $30, 20 for $50 at prophecyclub.com. 1 for $20, 10 for $30, 20 for $50 at prophecyclub.com. So, one of each of the 5 books is a gift of $60, but I got a better deal. The best deal of the day is get 5 of each of the 5 books for a gift of $100. I'll say it again. Get 5 of each of the 5 books for a gift of $100. That's really good. Now, why? Because when you start reading these books, you're going to want to hand them out to other people. You got friends, neighbors, loved ones, church friends, work friends, business friends. They all need to know this, especially the mark of the beast. They got to know about this. Look at tribulation about to start. We got to get ourselves informed. I suggest you go with 5 of each of the 5 books for a gift of $100. Prophecyclub.com. Prophecyclub.com.